All of us have spent a pretty good deal of time in newspaper newsrooms, and I don't know about you guys, but one of my favorite times of the day was being in the Page One meeting, when editors would pitch their reporters' best stories and fight for space on the front page. Sometimes those discussions could get pretty heated as editors tried to balance the news of the day, which stories would have the best photos or art to go with them, and so on. Well, New York Times editor Dean Baquet is ditching the traditional Page One meeting for something new, something he's calling the Dean's List. How is this going to work?
It strangely, I think, is the answer. The Dean's List is going to be what's the best story for our digital real estate across our apps, across our sites, and the mechanics of what goes on the front page the next morning is going to be dealt with at a later afternoon meeting where its importance has been de-emphasized. I think you're seeing the evolution of the New York Times from the old gray lady who comes out every morning to a newer gray lady who reinvents herself 3-4 times a day.
And in some ways, I think this is something that they've been doing for a while now. I mean, because a lot of people get their news and information from their app on their phone or on their tablet, or it comes in their computer through their email on a daily basis. So what they see there is not necessarily everything that they see in the New York Times that is thrown on your front doorstep. So I think they're just taking this one step further by saying we're going to spend more time looking at how we're going to put our news out on those platforms before we begin to think about what's going to go on the pages that you on the paper you get thrown on your doorstep every morning. And it just is sort of speaking to the new way in which people get their news and information.
This was one of the things, interestingly enough, that in that leaked New York Times innovation report that came out a few months ago, that it was perceived that there was too much of a dependence on that Page One meeting in terms of how the product came together each day and how it was moved forward. Is this going to be a cultural shift that the paper is going to accept as a whole, or is this something that you see taking some time for there to be buy-in and for it to really be put in place and move forward?
Well, I think this is something that they've probably been working on. So yes, it's going to take some time for this to happen because people are used to routines, and this is going to be a new routine. And as you go through this routine and it becomes a part of the culture, then you're going to see it. The question I have is that, is this going to continue once Dean Baquet is gone and we move on to the next editor? That will tell us whether or not this is going to be a cultural shift in the New York Times or if it's just something that is being implemented by this particular team that may fade away if another team comes in.
I did find myself wondering if the Times is going to become dominated by the culture of now, which I think sometimes is what you see. We have very, very responsive website, mobile app, pushing of news products. Is you stop thinking about what's important in the larger scale and what do we need to do right now to attract clicks, to attract advertisers, and to get traffic moving and to bring people back.
And that's one of the things that the New York Times as a publication does best, is that its reporting brings context to stories. We even saw that in one of the clips we brought forward last week from the Page One documentary when we were talking about the loss of David Carr, but how he was calling some of those Vice executives kind of to the carpet a little bit for the contextual reporting that we tend to see, the more depth we see from the New York Times, and how this approach may shift some of that because of how news gathering goals may change as some of those cultural changes are put into effect.
Well, I know one of the things they're talking about is having more of those enterprise stories on the front page of the newspaper, the one that you're going to get, every
Dead
morning.
Tree edition.
Exactly.
That's what I like to call it.
The legacy edition.
We can call that. That's a little bit more politically correct than the pile of dead trees.
Right. So, I think that's what they're going to try and start shifting that to. But I also think that they need to figure out some sort of way to make sure that gets on the online as well. Because if you don't, what's going to happen is you're going to have basically what Judd is talking about, which is what's going to get the most clicks, what's going to be the news of now without the context and that wealth of information that the New York Times is known to bring to its stories.
I mean, the Times is known for doing the very important stories with the capital V, capital I, and capital P, or S. I think that's very important
but
stories.
That's okay. Yeah. We'll call that the big J journalism. How's that? As we're talking about capital letters.
Right. Exactly, the big J journalism.
Okay.
And you wonder if there's a story that doesn't quite hit that high enterprise level, are we still going to see that featured prominently? If it's something that's important, if it's something that's well researched, but it's not a gee whiz story, a very important story, are we going to see it on the page, or is it going to be there and then be gone 2 hours later?
Yeah, that's the problem. Is are those stories going to sort of vanish in a couple of hours, or the next
so
time
exactly
that people don't get a chance to see it, and then you miss out on something that was pretty good from the New York Times.